Paul Dane from Lincolnshire is a big classic motorcycle fan, and he has a quite extraordinary collection actually. Sadly, back in March 24, he was diagnosed with bowel cancer, which since spread and is now become incurable, although Paul is receiving chemotherapy treatment every 2 weeks for as long as it remains effective. Now, on a very positive note, Paul is planning on a charity ride over 2,000 miles in July this year on behalf of cancer research. And he's actually going to be doing that on one of his wonderful classic bikes, a 1967 BSA Bantam D13, which he has owned since 1974 and which he restored in 2020. So, Paul, I gather that you're doing a fantastic trip coming up to Scotland.
I am, yeah.
For a very good cause, a very worthy cause, because I know you've been very ill lately. Say that you've had cancer.
Bowel cancer, yeah.
And you're still undergoing treatment for that.
The bowel cancer, what that did, it spread, if you like, into the lymph nodes, and now it's spread into my liver. So what I've got now, I've got secondary cancer. So I've got bowel cancer of the liver. I've not got bowel cancer anymore in my bowel.
Yeah.
I've got it in my liver. And the secondary cancers can't really be treated as such. Well, can't be cured. So it's a case of just chemo for as long as the chemo works, or immune therapy.
Yeah.
And then you're on your own after that, pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
What you're hoping to do, or planning on doing, is to do a charity ride. Is that correct? Yeah. So what's the plans for that, and when are you setting off?
Well, the plan was, because I'm getting something back from the cancer research, if you like, I'm getting treatment. What I thought I would do is I thought I'd try and put something back into the cancer system. So I thought, well, what should I do? And I thought, well, my passion is old bikes and touring. So I thought, well, why not go touring on an old bike? And I thought, to make it difficult, I'll do it on the smallest old bike I've got, which is the Bantam. And I'm afraid all my bikes, if I get on them, they'll go north. I don't know what it is, there's something wrong with the steering or something. You try and go south and they won't go south, unless they go into the tunnel and going abroad. So they all go north. And I thought, well, north, obviously Scotland, isn't it? Got to do Scotland again.
And how many miles do you anticipate doing a day then, Paul?
What I tried to do originally was stop where I want to stop. So I planned on probably about 100 miles a day. But I got a bit of a shock when I tried to book hotels. Because of the North Coast 500, the whole area of the Western Isles, if you like, and the Highlands has got incredibly popular. And not a good thing I'm not a fan of the North Coast 500 whatsoever. I think it's the worst thing that's happened to Scotland, personally, because it spoilt it for motorcycling.
Yeah.
I was there last year on the motorbike, and it took me an hour and a half just to get through Fort William on the motorbike, which is mental. The hotels, I'll just give you an example. A small pub hotel in Waternish, just a pub. I know the village well, and they wanted £750 for 2 nights, and that's not uncommon. I looked at various other places. The cheapest I could find a hotel in the Isle of Skye for 2 nights was £380, which I don't suppose is too bad, but it wasn't just Skye. I mean, Skye is mental. We went on Skye about 5-6 years ago, and the traffic is horrendous. It was that bad a few years ago. They were letting one car on and one car off because the mountain rescue teams couldn't get around the island. It was just so clogged. It's somewhere that I want to go to because I've got a lot of history there, a lot of family history there, and I want to go there. But in other ways, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. And have you got any sponsorship for this?
Yes, I have. I managed to get something the other night when I saw you. There's Tom lives just he's got a house just over the back here, and he runs a business called Peak Diesels, which is ship engines. Tom Whaler, his name is, and he gave me 200 quid the other night towards my hotels, and my brother's given me 250 quid, but that's the only money I've got as in sponsorship for that.
Yeah.
I've got a charity just giving the cancer site, and what they've done, what I've got on there, I've got with gift aid, I've got over £7,000 on there. My company I work for, Siemens Gas Turbines in Lincoln, or Siemens Energy as they're now called, they've said they'll match whatever I get on my charity. So whatever I raise, they're going to match. Also, Electrics World, there we go, that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
As you can see on the, that is this kit fitted to the Bantam.
Right.
When I rebuilt the Bantam back in 2020, I'm not a fan of points, distributors, any of that rubbish, condensers, capacitors, whatever. I don't want any of that. Anything old, get rid of it as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people the other way around. A lot of people love points and things like that because they say you can always get it going. But the other argument is buy something electronic and it doesn't go wrong. so I've had that fitted since 2017. It's never been a problem. The bike starts well.
So when did you buy the bike in the first place?
1974. It's a 175, but it's not a 175 anymore. Originally it was 175, so now when I rebuilt it, I think it's 2020 I rebuilt it, I've had it bored out to 185. It's got a Rexcorn piston in, which is basically a copy of a Suzuki piston. The barrel has been ported by Ron Phillips at Farron Engineering, and he's done the cylinder head, machined the cylinder head out, and it's now got a squish band machined into it, so it's got all the squish set up on it, bigger jets in it. So if I'm truthful, it's good for about 70 plus mile an hour. Most people say Bantams will cruise at 70, but they won't, because they're looking at the speedo. The speedos on Bantams, everyone I've seen are at least 5 to 10 mile an hour fast. So anybody who say they're doing 70 on a Bantam, if they're looking at the speedo, they're not doing 70, they're doing about 60. So that is good for 70 mile an hour on GPS.
So the reason you decide to go on a Bantam is, did you just think, oh, this will be fun, let's do it on this?
Well, the main reason is because I'm very attached to that Bantam, because I've had it so long, and it's more of a challenge on it, isn't it? It's a small bike. Obviously you're doing it on a big bike. I could do it on the Enfield. I mean, the Enfield, if anything goes wrong with the Bantam, the Enfield is my backup bike if I really need to. But it would be easy on that, or easier. Obviously not as easy as the newer bikes.
Yeah.
So I could do it on the Bonneville 750, but doing it on the small bike, it's just more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're talking to people, if you want to raise money for a charity, it's got to really be a challenge, hasn't it?
Of course.
If it's not a challenge, it's just a trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just an holiday. And even though I'm going to enjoy it, I think, I think there's going to come times where I'm going to have a few issues because it's an old bike.
Yeah.
And
but you're doing this unsupported. There's no backup crew, or
there's no backup crew, no.
Yeah.
No backup crew whatsoever. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be tied down to anybody following me, or I mean, if anything goes seriously wrong, I've got breakdown cover. So the worst thing that could happen, just transport it back home.
Yeah.
I'm carrying enough spares around with me to pretty much rebuild it by the side of the road, which is not difficult with a Bantam. You know, so I've got the knowledge to rebuild it by the side of the road. So you know, most things that'll go wrong, in my experience of things going wrong, it's on old bikes, it's a snapped cable, or it's a electrical connection snaps off, or it's not normally mechanical. Very rarely.
Yeah.
You get mechanical problems.
Oh, if you're wondering, Paul just touched a piece of wood for that.
Yeah. Put the seat on. That's that. That is for my clothing, if you like, which actually holds more than the top box. And the other good thing about that is, at night, all I need to do is put a strap on there and just straight into the hotel. The same with this. In this one, my spares are going in there.
Okay.
Spares and tools in this one. So what it's done now is put the weight lower,
yeah,
and nearer to me. And this doesn't affect the handling at all. I took it out the other day. Obviously the bike feels heavier.
Yes.
But the steering's fine, and the bike handles properly. Before, honestly, it was quite frightening. And the other thing with Bantams is you don't want a lot of side area, if you know what I mean. This is, with the wind from the side, it's going to go round it to a degree. Obviously with the top box, it's going to hit that top box, because Bantams, they're very light, they're very unstable. You've got big mud guards front and back, so if you get any side winds on them, they're quite frightening.
Right.
And obviously you're going to get a lot of wind in Scotland. So yeah, I don't know if you've ever ridden something as small as this, small and light as this, but the
first bike I ever had.
Was it? Yeah.
In my life, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll know then that in side winds they can be quite frightening.
Yeah.
This is a nice little thing. It actually tells you the voltage on it, and that'll charge up both my phone, and my iPhone, and my navigation phone, and that will Bluetooth to my crash helmet.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
On my phone. So yeah. The other thing you'll probably notice about this is, as I told you before, breakdowns normally is a cable. So I've got spare cables tied up to everywhere, all routed to where they're going to go to.
Right.
So if I do have a breakdown by the side of the road, I don't have to get a cable out and route it all the way through my bike. It's already there. Like, for instance, that one there, if you like, is for the throttle, and you can see it moving around down the card there, look. So I've got choking throttle down there. In fact, this one's a throttle. Yeah.
Okay.
The miles I'm doing a day is dependent on the hotels. So some of the mileage, I think my lowest mileage day is 96 miles, and I think my highest miles 156 in a day, which is not too bad. You can, because that'll cruise around 50 mile an hour, 55, 60 if you really want to, but I'll be cruising about 50, 55. Obviously up in the Highlands probably a lot slower than that. Once you get to the hills, probably 40 or less. So yeah, so it's easily manageable in a day. You know, I could do like 50 miles and have an hour break and start again, so it's easily manageable. And if I wanted to, I could do it later in the day, because up that time of year in Scotland it doesn't really get dark, does it?
No, that's true.
So I could set off later in the day if you get a hot day, or the weather's a bit dodgy and it's going to get fine later, so I've got nice manageable chunks of mileage, if you like.
Yeah.
And I've worked that out. That's going to take me about 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to see the bike and possibly give me some money or whatever, I'm going to be at Grimsthorpe Speed Trial which is nice. It's pre-war cars and bikes, doing a sprint down the drive of Crimsthorpe Castle. Really nice day out. And that's on the 4th of July, so I'll be there with the bike, and we can see that. The other place I'm going to be is at West Ashby the next day, and Larry, who owns the manor, what he's agreed to do, he's agreed to give me a stand to display the bike, and he's already given me a considerable donation straight to the charity, and he said he will also give me a load of the gate money, and he's helping me out a lot.